Culturally, it's a project with the objective to design and to build positive energy buildings. It means buildings with positive energy balance with a very high indoor environmental quality. So with the main aim of the users' well-being, but using as much as possible renewable energies. So producing energy from renewable sources that could be found locally. So exploiting technologies like PV or natural ventilation or air movement in order to reduce the cooling demand. So the main aim is the user's well-being and then using as much as possible renewable energy to reduce the energy balance.
My role in this case is that I have designed the Plus Energy building, which is the Norwegian demonstration case in the Cultural E project. The building is a result of a competition arranged by Bærum municipality. It's a residential building with care homes for people with mental and multiple disabilities.
I'm what you call a technical advisor in the Cultural E program for the Norwegian demo. I'm a mediator between the technical providers and the demo owner. The demo owner in Cultural E is Bærum municipality. So I'm a kind of a link between the technical systems providers and Bærum. Also, we do, of course, some research in the project. We get a lot of data from the Cultural E project, which we analyze and assess, and of course disseminate in different aspects.
There was a criterion that the building should be a passive house constructed with solid wood and also with internal surfaces in solid wood.
All the people living there, they have 24-hour assistance because they have difficulty doing some of their kind of living on their own, so they need help all the time.
The building is classified as BREEAM Nor Excellent, and it's a future build project, which is a Norwegian innovation program for sustainability. The building consists of 12 apartments with common rooms and a staff department. The roof is distributed with 50% green roof with sedum cover and 50% with solar panels. The insulation values are increased compared to the regulations, and there are better U values on the windows and doors. Building in wood is tradition in Norway, but solid wood in this form is a quite new construction method, which has become more common in the last 10 years.
The lessons learned and challenges so far, it's been, well, you have to kind of divide it into several phases, like the design phase. But we know one of the large challenge was that they had the building almost completely finished like in the plans, and suddenly several strange or new technologies had to be implemented. Like then, we have to have heat pumps and solar shading and several things that was to be included, and that caused kind of problems with in the design phase.
For this kind of project, it's important to have interdisciplinary collaboration in the early phase. Building engineers, engineers in building physics, acoustics, ventilation, all of them were a necessary part of the project group. It's also important that we as architects have a basic knowledge about most of the issues, because it affects the architecture. And simplify the process and documentation. From this project, my experience was that the documentation cost was disproportionately high. There must be a goal that the most new buildings are plus energy building. There are a lot of projects that can't afford this high documentation cost. Therefore, simplifying the process and documentation is important.
After the design phase, you have, of course, the construction phase, which always is kind of challenging because things happen on the way, and there's a contractor and there's a lot going on. And after the construction phase, which always is kind of complicated and takes a lot of time, you have the run-in phase. And that's probably where we had most of the issues, I guess, because the run-in phase was quite long. There's a lot of technical equipment, lots of systems going to talk together, and this has to work out in the HMS, or the house management system. It has to work out. And there's a lot of things to do. So we used about, I think, 1 or 1.5 years in the run-in phase to get kind of the building in operational state like it is now. Thirdly, or lastly, in the operational phase, which we have learned now recently, is that the building is quite efficient, of course. It works out, but the people working there, the nurses and the tenants, I don't think they're quite aware of the high technological level the building is in, and they do not know the system as well as they probably should. So this is something we're going to use and work further with, because if we're going to get to a plus energy building, you have to have some technical knowledge, and you have to kind of know what you're doing. Yeah.
The plus energy building is not the standard, I would say, in Europe and in my country as well, in Italy, but was just approved the new version of the European directive on energy performance in buildings, and in the directive they are mentioned the building that produce more energy than they use. So, I mean, it is not the standard, not a requirement, but something that is mentioned in this policy. So I guess something that will become part of the market, and it is also important because of this concept of energy community. So if you would like to establish an energy community, you need energy production. So for existing buildings, it's difficult to have a positive energy balance. So the chance to build new building with a positive energy balance could be also useful for the concept of energy community.
The concept of plus energy building is well received at national and regional level in Norway. In fact, the Norwegian government encouraged this kind of building. However, there might be problems with the capacity in the overhead power grid for the utilization of excess energy in part of the country, which has to be solved.
It is important on a national level to have plus energy buildings. It's not like it's a new kind of fashion thing. It's the way we are going anyway. We know we have to get to zero first, of course, zero emission buildings and low energy building and plus energy building. So in Norway we have several buildings that are plus energy buildings, because we see that that's the only way to go to if we're going to have a sustainable society in the future. So it's not the matter of how it is accepted, it's just when and how are we going to get there, I think. I can highlight some of the positive results, like we have a battery in the building, and as a proof of concept system that shows that we can actually collect energy from the PVs and store it in the battery and use it later when the energy prices are high. That's very important. Also, of course, we can see that when building a type of this building, which is a low emission building with high insulation, it actually works. The building does not use a lot of energy. It's quite amazing to be in a country that cold, actually. And thirdly, I would say you maybe think that Norway is a kind of a cold, dark place, but actually solar panels are extremely efficient, especially in the winter when there's not snow on them, because they work exceptionally good when it's cold outside and sunny. So we get a lot of energy, actually. during the winter time, which I think it came as a surprise to many when we see the PV systems in Norway. So it's been adopted in several other places as well. Yeah.
So it's not only the energy balance, there are also other benefits that could be valuable for the final users and make interesting these kind of buildings. So it's not only to save energy, but also to live better at your home.